Okay, this is take 4, everyone. Figuring out if you can see me. If anyone's here. Perfect, we're here, yay. Good morning, everyone. Forgive the delay. We had some angle issues and then it wasn't going live when it said it was going live. So forgive me. I am down at St. George Island. Got up this morning at 7:30 to find a great spot outside, and then it started raining and the construction workers came. So we're inside, and if we can't give you the actual beach, I'll give you a beach scene on a mantle. So thanks for coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and get started since we're a bit behind the 10:30 mark. I have my phone nearby me today because I'm gonna be timing some things when we're doing the yin portion of the sequence. So hopefully you will enjoy this flow. It's gonna be a little more of a slow flow and just kind of letting us have some time in each asana and each pose to set some intentions for ourselves and do some reflecting, since we're talking about the niyamas this week, the observances, and self-reflection is one of those. So hope you enjoy. All right, we're gonna get started down on our mats. Just find, actually let's stay here. If it's within your practice to sit on your legs and knees like this, go ahead. Gets you nice and straight up and kind of grounded down. Put our hands on our heart and on our stomach. If it's not within your practice to sit like this, you're more than welcome to sit crisscross or in whatever way is comfortable for you. Just, we're gonna do a little breathing to begin. So find a comfy seat. So we're gonna just begin by closing our eyes and reminding ourselves of that powerful mantra that is the first 2 words of the Yoga Sutras. Om Yoga, now yoga. Om Yoga. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling that expanse deep in your Buddha belly and high into your heart. Filling your entire body with that prana, that life force energy. On the exhale, releasing it from the heart down to the belly. This is our 3-part breath. So we inhale, filling belly, chest, shoulders. Exhale, releasing shoulders, ribs, belly. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. A few more breaths here at your own pace, just remembering to find the space in between the inhale and the exhale. Noticing if you feel any places of immediate tension this morning, just breathing some prana into those, breathing some life in, releasing that tension. Two more deep breaths here. Releasing that all, letting it go, continuing to breathe. Doing some just gentle neck stretches. We'll bring our right ear down to our right shoulder. You can really, if you're sitting the way I am, you can bring your shoulders down a bit too. Really kind of deepen that stretch. Inhaling it back up and over, coming down to the left. Inhaling back up and over. Exhaling back down to the left. Turn my music down here. I'm sorry, we're to the right. Coming back up. Back down over to the left. Ooh. Now we're going to go ahead and roll the neck down to the front, through the center, and back over to the right here. Rolling it down through the center, and back up to the left. Now we'll do some full circles, slowly making sure not to cramp your neck when you come around the back. Always creating space. Last time to the right. Reverse it. Head to the left. Last time to the left. Bringing it back to center and neutral. We'll give a little nod forward. And bringing it all the way back. Putting a little arch in your back, lifting your heart high to the sky. Bringing it back down to center. Inhale, lifting the shoulders up. Exhale, rolling them back. Inhale up. Exhale, rolling back. Inhale. Exhale, back. Last time this direction. Rolling back. This time we're going to inhale and roll forward. Inhale, rolling forward. Inhale, forward. Last time. Now we're gonna do inhale, lifting our arms high to the sky, bringing our hands together in our Karma Mudra. Pointer fingers extended, other fingers clasped. We're gonna bend to the right side, just getting that nice side stretch, engaging the whole core. Keeping the chest nice and lifted. Remembering to breathe. Inhale, lifting it up through the center and over to the left side now. Inhale, coming up to the center, giving it a little bend to the back, creating lots of space in that lower back. Lowering it down, forward into a child's pose. Right now we're over our knees in a child's pose. Now let's walk those knees out. So come up a little. Give yourself a nice wide knee stance. Toes still touching. And come back down into your child's pose. Really just creating all that space throughout the entire back, hips, shoulders. Coming up and into a tabletop on our mat. Some cat-cow here. So we've got our knees, hips distance apart, our hands are shoulder distance apart, shoulders, elbows, and wrists are stacked. You're going to inhale, lifting the chest and the sacrum high to the sky. Exhale, scooping out the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, scooping back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, scoop. Now a couple of breaths here to move how you like. You can make full circles with your back. Dance your kitty tail. Just play, really wake up that spine. You can roll forward and back on the wrists, kind of giving them a little stretch and good morning wake up call. Now we're going to thread our needles. So we're going to take our right arm, lift it up to the sky, and then bring it down underneath our left arm, all the way down to the mat, shoulder to the mat, keeping those legs in a 90-degree angle as much as possible. Again, giving the whole back a nice, good twist and stretch. One more big breath here. Inhale, lifting back up, giving yourself a little counter twist, coming back down to the mat, firmly planting that right hand on the mat so we can lift our left arm high to the sky, giving it a twist up, threading that needle under the right arm all the way down to the mat. One more big breath here. Inhale, lifting it up, counter twist, coming back down to the mat, giving your back a little roll out. Dance your cat around a hair again. And just come to a seated position on your mat. Little crisscross, comfortable seated position. Do a little more stretch here. Inhale, lifting high to the sky. Chest and heart lifted. Exhale, folding forward. Reaching out. You can stay for a minute in a flat back. After a few breaths there, completely roll over. Those are two different stretches for your back, so feel free to play around finding the differences and the joys of both. One more big breath here. Inhale, reaching out and up. Bringing the arms down on your exhale. We're going to switch our legs. Whatever leg you had in front, we're gonna switch that. It's gonna feel a little funny, but that's okay. Just evening out this stretch here. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Again, you can play around with that flat back a little. I like to try to create some oppositional tension by really pulling with my hands, pushing forward with my head and pulling back with my hands to get that oppositional stretch. After a few breaths here, feel free to fold it all the way over, curling the spine. One more big breath here. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bringing the arms down by the sides, bringing the feet into a butterfly. So you've got the soles of your feet are touching. Now you can make a long diamond, a short diamond, whatever feels comfortable for you in this position. Just find a comfortable version of it for yourself. We're gonna do a little stretching to the side. So again, remembering to keep both sits bones flat onto the mat. We're gonna reach down with our right arm toward the mat and up and over with the left arm. Remembering to keep that chest nice and lifted. Using that right arm to really ground you in so that you can push down into that left hip. One more big breath here. Inhale, reaching up and over, coming down onto the left arm and reaching around with the right arm. Again, we're pushing back into that right hip. So down and out with our left hand, keeping the chest nice and lifted. One more big breath here. Inhale, reaching up, coming back down to the center. Crossing onto our knees, we're gonna do a little seated cat-cow. Inhale, lifting the chest high to the sky. Keeping space in the neck, keeping it nice and long. Exhale, scooping it back. Getting that really nice, deep, juicy C curve in our back. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, scooping. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, scooping back. Now we're gonna come back to the front of our mat. And in our tabletop, we're just gonna tuck the toes, step back into a down dog, the first down dog of the day. We're gonna wake up our pups here this morning, walk your dog a little. Move around a little in your down dog, finding those places of tension, seeing if you can bring some relaxation and ease into them, really grounding down in this pose. Lifting up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bending the knees, looking forward. Inhale, walk, step, or jump to meet your hands at the front of the mat. Inhale, give yourself a little half lift. Exhale, folding forward. hanging out here in a forward fold. You don't need to change your directions. I'm just changing so you can see. I'll go this way. Now when I'm hanging in this rag doll, I like to kind of rock a bit on my feet, feeling the possibilities for the different stretches depending on whether you have your weight in the balls of your feet or your heels. You can bring a slight bend into the knees. Really find the possibilities there for playing in each hip, alternating your weight. Bringing the hands down to the mat, grounding in, slight bend in the knee. Inhale, bringing it to that half lift again. Exhale, folding it back down to the mat. Bending the knees deeper this time. We're going to slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Making sure that the shoulders, neck, and head are the last things to come up. Whew. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer now. We're going to move into some sun salutations here, some sun A's. So you want to begin toward the front of your mat. You can start with your toes together, heels slightly apart, or feet at hips distance. Whatever feels comfortable for you today in your practice. Taking a moment to just stand grounded in our mountain pose. Taking some nice deep breaths, standing in this power and grounded potential. One last big breath here. Inhale, lifting up high to the sky. Exhale, folding forward through prayer, down to the mat. Inhale, giving yourself a little half lift. Exhale, planting the hands, coming back through your plank, flowing through our chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Tucking the toes, exhaling back to down dog. One more big breath here. Inhale, coming up on the tippy toes. Exhale, bending the knees, looking forward. Inhale, walk, step, or jump to the front of the mat. Little half lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhaling down through prayer and into mountain pose. Oh, that was nice timing with the music. We're going to do that again. Really trying to pace on our breath. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale it, folding forward. All the way down to the mat. Inhale, a little half lift. Exhale, planting the hands. Walking back into that plank. Flowing through chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Pushing back, exhaling into down dog. Holding this down dog for 5 big deep breaths. Inhale, rising up to the toes. Exhale, bending the knees, looking forward. Inhale, walk, step, or jump to the front of the mat. Little half lift. Exhale, folding all the way forward. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhaling through prayer pose and down to mountain pose. Giving yourself a minute to just take in that mountain pose. Feels really nice to do a lion's breath here. So you're going to stand in your mountain pose. Inhale deeply. Exhale on a nice audible breath with the tongue out. Ground into that power pose. Last time. One last sun salutation. We're going to just flow through at your own pace. So you can begin whenever you're ready for your next inhale. Remembering to hold that down dog for 5 full breaths. We'll do a little bit of a shoulder stretch here. So we're actually going to inhale, clasping the hands behind the back, gripping the hands tightly. Inhale, lifting the chest, pulling back. Exhaling here. Just breathing into that stretch for a sec. Bringing the arms around to sit onto the right hip. And bring that right elbow back to be directly behind you. So when you're looking straight, it's like your elbow isn't even there. It's behind your back. Really a deep stretch for both the left side and the right side. Nice chest opener. One last breath here. Exhale, releasing it out. Inhale, clasping the hands behind the back, lifting that chest. Bringing the arms to the left hip this time. Bringing that left elbow back and around to be behind the body. Finding that full open chest potential. Stretching it out as best you can. Remembering not to crunch up, but stay really extended and open. Releasing that, letting it go. Coming back to the front of our mat. We're gonna do just a brief standing sequence, just a little bit more flow before we move into the yin portion of the practice. Inhale, reaching up, high to the sky. Exhale, folding forward, coming down to the front of the mat. Inhale, reaching to that half lift. Exhale, folding forward. Now this time we're just gonna step back, plant our back foot at a 45-degree angle, so toes facing the front corner of the mat. Scooting that right leg out just a hair. You can tell we're gonna be coming up into our warrior one, so making sure your hips are square. Inhale, reaching up into that warrior one. Relaxing the shoulders down, squaring off the hips. If you need to shorten your stance, that's okay too. Really finding the power here in this warrior, making sure that the knee is over the ankle. One last big breath here. On this next inhale, we're going to begin to bring all of our weight onto our standing front leg, keeping a slight bend in the leg. We're going to lift the left leg and hinge forward into our warrior three. Now, it may be beneficial for you to bring your hands to prayer pose to get a bit more balance in this pose. Staying here for one more big breath. Leaving that left leg lifted, we're going to bring our hands down to the mat for a standing split. Bringing that left leg down, toes facing the front of the mat, heel is still lifted. We're in a deep runner's lunge at the moment. All 10 toes facing forward. Inhale, lift into that high crescent lunge. Just really grounding down in the shoulders, standing straight and tall in this pose. Finding that good balance here. If it's within your practice, you can give yourself a little back bend, lift and pull back, shining your heart up to the sky. Coming back down through the center, bringing the hands down to the mat, dropping the left knee down to the mat. Again, inhale, lift into that low crescent lunge. If you want to go a little deeper, you can dive into that back bend a hair, just really opening up those hips. Bringing it back down to the mat, coming up onto the toes, planting the hands, pushing back into a down dog. Slowly walking our feet up to the front of the mat to meet our hands. Inhale in a little half lift. Exhale, folding it forward. This time we're going to step back with our right foot at a 45-degree angle for that warrior one. Bringing the left foot out a hair. Remember, train tracks, not a tightrope. Inhale, lifting up. Squaring off the hips. Both headlights facing forward. Back leg is straight. Front leg, knee over ankle. Shoulders relaxed. One more big breath here. On your next inhale, we're going to begin to bring all of our weight into that front leg. Lifting the right leg off the ground, hinging forward. Super close to this wall. Bringing the hands to prayer pose, squaring off the hips to the best of your ability. Slight bend in that left leg is going to help stabilize that standing leg. Last breath here. Bringing the hands down to the mat, lifting that right leg high to the sky. Now here you can play around with whether you square it off the hips or not. Excuse me, I thought I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. This time we're going to plant the right foot down with all the toes facing forward, heels lifted off the ground. Now this lunge, this runner's lunge, is more of a tightrope lunge. Your train tracks are a little closer together. Inhale, lifting up into that high crescent lunge. Really opening up that right hip. Again, keeping the left knee over the left ankle. If it's within your practice, go ahead and dig into that back bend a hair. Slowly coming back to the center, bringing the hands down to the mat, dropping the knee. Inhale, lifting into that low crescent lunge. Take your time. A little back bend if it's within your practice. Rolling back down to the mat, planting the hands, lifting that right leg, pushing back into a down dog with the left leg. We'll come down for a child's pose. Slow it back down. We're going to do a nice big knees to the edge of the mats, toes touching, wide child's pose here. Slowly lifting up and out. Now, we're going to move into the more yin portion of the practice, so we'll be holding these poses for between 2 and 3 minutes on each side. So we're going to really substantially slow it down here. So if you're at home and you have blocks within your access, you're more than welcome to grab a block so that you have a little bit more stability in some of these poses. If you're not in a space where you have blocks, you can use pillows. I'll throw some to my mom. She's practicing in the background. I'm going to take some as well so I can show you how they can be beneficial in these poses. So we're just going to start sitting in a straddle, our legs open. Now, also in yin, you never want to stretch deep enough into a pose where you're feeling any pain. There's a point where you start to feel the stretch intensely. That's called the edge, and you never want to move past your edge in a yin pose. So sit comfortably here. Find how wide or narrow of a sit is really best for you in order to sit up straight and grounded and feel comfortable to hang out in these poses for a bit of time. So we're going to do some side stretching here. We're going to bring our right arm down onto our right leg so that we have some stability and some just some support. And then, forgive me, this is when I'm going to use my phone so I can time us. We're going to reach up and over with our left arm, keeping the chest really lifted. So if you need to sit up here, if you need to give yourself some extra support with a pillow, feel free. But we're gonna hang out here for 2 minutes. Remembering to keep that chest lifted and breathe, breathe, breathe. If you find yourself gripping your legs at all, your inner thighs, let that release. Releasing all tension. Breathing deep into the stretch. Taking care not to stretch past that edge. The goal here is to be as still and as just molded into that posture as possible. Almost there. 2 more big deep breaths. Whew. And release. Taking a minute to just kind of wiggle around for a sec. So we're going to come into this left side here. So take your time finding what's comfortable for you. You can stack pillows, get them up and over, because we're going to be reaching and staying for 2 minutes. So really make it what works best for you. As many props and pillows as you need is just fine. But we want to find the point just before the edge of that stretch. So we're not in any pain, but we are finding the stretch. So I'm going to come down onto my arm, lifting up and over with my right arm. If you find that this is tiring for your right arm, feel free to lay it down on your head. About 30 more seconds. Remembering to breathe into these poses. Just letting gravity do its work. Two more big deep breaths. And release. Now this is where the pillows are going to come in real handy. We're going to do a forward fold here, a yin forward fold. So get yourself kind of propped up and elevated. When you're ready for that, we're going to inhale, reaching forward, and exhale, just release. And again, don't go past that edge. One last big breath here. Inhale, coming up, releasing it. One more pose, but we're going to do it on each side. So we're going to bring our legs together. This is a modified pigeon that we're going to do here. So you're going to bring the right foot up onto kind of the meaty part of the left leg. If you have tight hips like me, you'll immediately start to feel it already in this right hip. Again, this is a good one to kind of prop yourself up because we're going to be folding forward, but you might not have to go too far to really get close to that edge. Now, some of you might be able to just lay down all the way on the floor. If the floor wasn't there, you just keep going.
Pillow underneath.
Yes. So my mom was just saying a pillow under your knee might feel good as well. You don't have to have this foot tucked really far under. That'll kind of extend the knee funny. So make sure you get that bottom leg in a really comfortable position for you. Whatever feels good. So I think I'm good with one pillow. We're gonna, again, reach up and just curl it over. Really just focusing your breath into this pose. Yin really encourages us to slow down and sit with ourselves and our bodies and our minds. It's a really reflective practice. We're halfway there. One more big breath here. Inhale, releasing. Taking a minute to just switch your legs over. Inhale, folding forward. Halfway there. Two more big breaths here. Inhale, releasing, lifting up and out. Set aside those pillows. We're gonna come eye wide. We're gonna do one more yin pose, but it's gonna be a supine. So we're gonna lay down on our mats and go back to that butterfly position. Soles of the feet touching. We're just gonna hang out here for this song. Just breathe into this gentle stretch. Let your hips open, your heart open. Shoulders melting into the mat.
Feeling my lower back here.
You can always put a pillow under your hips if you need a little lower back support. Really feeling gravity at work here. And slowly just bringing those legs up. Ooh. Giving yourself some windshield wipers, just bringing both knees over to one side, lifting up and over to the other. Giving your back a nice little twist. Bringing the knees into the chest, giving them a little hug. Rolling out the back. Do some knee circles here. Changing direction. And whenever you're ready to let that all go, we're going to just move into our Savasana, our corpse pose. Legs fully extended out in front of you. Get yourself really comfy. Arms by your side, palms facing up, eyes closed. And just breathe and be. really starting to bring some awareness back into the fingers and toes, back into the whole body. Give your fingers and toes a little wiggle. Keeping your eyes closed. Slowly bring your body into a fetal position on whatever side is comfortable for you. Breathing into that position for just a minute. Still with the eyes closed, as if with no effort at all, lifting your body up to a seated position. Comfortably seated. Bringing the hands down to the knees or in prayer pose. Just taking a moment to breathe here. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you again for practicing with me this morning or whenever you're able to watch this. I hope that you enjoyed it and found some space and purpose in the kind of grounded, reflective practice that we focused on today. So namaste, and everyone continue to stay safe and healthy and radiate that love that we all have out into the world. Thank you.